Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of The Pilot Mindset. Today is August 30th, 2023, and we have another banner night upon our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you aren't aware, we are in the post-event for the 5th anniversary celebration of Gundam Battle Operation 2. Its 5th year birthday is coming to a close, and if you are just joining in now, we have some events going on already. One of them being a special supply drop mobile suit request, which is boosted, which gives you 5 chances in all. One of the top 10 mobile suits guaranteed from a 10-pull supply drop request, and it's guaranteed. One is guaranteed. So it's a 5-step deal, and if you see on the little screenshot here below, you have a chance to get one of those suits. So you got the Kshatriya, the Delta Kai, Unicorn, Atlas, Sinanju Stein, Phoenix, Zeku Zue, Banshee, Sinanju, and the 2-star mass production double Zeta for those of you guys that were unlucky to get it on during banner. On top of that, we also have the temporary special directives, this is a special limited ongoing event where it's under quick matches and they have special spawns for 3 maps. You have Port Base High Tide, Tropical Desert, and I believe Deserted City with a rotation of different costs. And by completing matches, winning them, and beating your rivals, you potentially on step 3 will get the aquatic part that makes your mobile suit compatible with water. Very useful part. It's free. If you complete those objectives, definitely do it. It's definitely worth it. And then if you finish the last 2 steps, you potentially in all can get a total of 300,000 DP points, which is great for tuning your favorite suit or getting something that you haven't had a chance to get. So it's really nice. So our main event suit is the TR-6, part of the RX series post 1-year war and pre-Zeta. It is a Titans test team suit, but we'll get into that shortly because it's a 3-star. And you also, for 10 pulls, potentially can get Camille's normal suit. On top of that, before we get into the premium logins, the level 2 game Alk, which I believe is 700, correct me on that, and the White Rider level 1 is being added to the DP store. Now, if you get your platinum reward bonus logins and you get your medal, right now the first suit to start off leading into September, starting technically today, once things carry over noontime Pacific time, is the Enhanced Double Zeta level 1. This is a 650 raid. And then the Bound Dock also is coming over as starting the week of September 10th. And then September 20th is the Vertex Kianos. So really cool stuff. But on to our main event. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the TR-6 Woundwort. This is a 450 cost support unit, 3-star support actually, developed by the Titans as a compilation of mobile suits from the TR project. So this is a standalone unit, not a add-on or improvement of a suit. So this is the culmination of all their test units as a standalone suit. This is related to technically the Hazelnut They, even though that is the TR1 version of the Hazelnut They will have a version that is considered under the TR6 line, which hopefully will show up later because that's going to be a beast. I think probably for sure, just to segue a little bit, that's going to be a 650, possibly 700 native. I would say more likely 650. But just to kind of reiterate through verbatim here, the designated title of TR6 does not only refer to the individual unit, but the final iteration of the TR series. These units were optimized for combat in any environment by retrofitting various optional parts to a core unit called Woundwort, which is this whole entire thing. But yes, if you look at the chest unit and the, technically the waist, not the legs, that's actually part of the TR1 version of the Hazelnut They. It does come equipped with a composite shield booster, same mechanics, I would assume, as the Hazelnut They booster shield. has a built-in eye field, which we'll get to shortly, but it does provide enhanced defense, a beam rifle capable of long-range sniping, and a claw developed for melee combat, which is pretty nuts. We'll have some B-roll shortly on top of that. But even as a base unit, it does improve, offers impressive adaptability and combat prowess, being deployed both ground and space. One thing I noticed, it doesn't have space compatibility, which is kind of odd. But yeah, if you're doing 10 pulls, you can get the Camille's normal suit, both the helmet and the normal suit, which actually I think originally came with the Mark II and the Zeta during that ban, which was a long time ago. So, on to the stats. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is the nitty-gritty of the Woundwort. As we said, it's a 450 support. Now, it comes with 18k HP, which is pretty decent of the case, considering it is kind of small and almost stringy. One thing to note is it has completely no ballistic resistance, so I believe there is enough room to kind of address that, or at least get it into a serviceable value. But it does have predominantly defenses in both beam and melee, so this is kind of interesting the way that it's being built so far, even including the range output and the melee output for damage. They're pretty balanced, so it's probably going to be a mixture of both range and some melee, considering the claw unit, which we'll get to shortly. But the movement speed on this suit is 130, 190, has a pretty healthy amount of thrusters in terms of the gauge. That's pretty nice, to say the least. And then jumping into the turning speed, it's 66, which is pretty high. Alright, folks, jumping into its primary weapon, we have the boosted rifle, which looks familiar because if you actually own the TR-1 Hazelin Bay, this is the same type of rifle that it uses in its primary, or very similar. This particular one comes in at 1800, 80% heat rate, range of 450, overheat of 15 seconds, 3.5 second cooldown, and a 3.5 second charge time, which, to my knowledge, I don't think it pierces, but unfortunately in my testing, or at least the rounds that I've had with it, I didn't really notice it at all, so I'm sure somebody can yell at me on the comments if that does or not. Its melee is a kick, technically, and it does punch a little bit. Obviously, it's the regular blow, so not really anything super crazy. 1000 power, it's 2.5 seconds, so that's nice. It does ready up a lot quicker than the heat plate, which is 3 seconds, but man, 2000 on a heat plate, that's gonna be pretty nasty to get caught by this suit, especially if you're a general. I think we were testing this on a dummy, and we were doing about 4k on a downswing on Grandpa. So this, given the opportunity, it can definitely do some serious damage. Head mounted Vulcans are 80 with a mag full of 40 at an effective range of 200, so it's about kind of close range, but it does give you a little bit of a buffer to kind of switch between weapons and evade or try to go in, depending on what the circumstances are. Good, decent fire rate. They do build up pretty quickly, but I'm not sure how that'll apply in the future with MA2, or at least MA2 suits, sorry. So we'll see. It could probably add up because I think when you do add the claw into the mix, it's a nice self-defense type of deal. It does have a 7-second cooldown time, but the melee factor paired with the decent melee value that the Woundwort gets, this is going to be pretty interesting to fight against, as you know, whether you're a general or a raid, to try to close in, because you know it's still got it ready, and you can kind of see a prompt when it does have the weapon ready to pretty much spring on you. So jumping into the shopping list of skills here, we got a lot of normal stuff like high performance radar, scope. It does have the usual observational data link, scouting parallel device, so ironically enough, your radar is up when you are trying to focus a little more precisely but seeing as it only has 450 meters range effectiveness, not sure how exactly that's going to be useful, because I've been pretty much knocked out of scope every time I tried to get a shot in, but maybe it's meant to be for quick snap shooting. So, I'd be wrong on that. It does come with the aerospace gimbal, so it does have some nice space stuff. It's able to transform into mobile armor mode, just like the Woundwort is depicted in models. So there's that CS booster eye field. So just like that claw, it does have like a little means of balancing out getting hit on that right side there, but on the left, well, yeah, it's not going to be very helpful in that sense. It does have anti-blast stabilizers, so definitely will help as it closes in and maybe get caught in that sort of mosh pit deal. It does come with bouncers, which is a plus as a support. I always like supports that have bouncers, so it does kind of lend to the fact that you kind of, given the opportunity, you do want to kind of add some melee in there to help out teammates. As MSV-R level 2, which helps with turning, excuse me, and it has Force Injector 2. Now to add on top of that, yeah, it is Priority 1 as we expected, but ironically enough, there is no space compatibility on there. So I guess that's what MSV-R 2 is supposed to address, but it is kind of weird to add on top of that. It's pretty basic when it's transformed. You only get Radar 2. You still keep a lot of the safe stuff like transform. You get the very basic ram attack, which is okay, I guess. It's kind of the same equivalent as punching with the non-enhanced blow, which really does, you know, it's great for knockdowns, but don't expect to do a whole lot with that. Yeah, and all you get is the booster eye field and the stabilizer. No means of keeping you in flight at all to prolong the damage output, because all you have is a transformed version of the booster rifle that you're using. This is a burst fire weapon, which you don't really necessarily get that impression until you actually try it out, and it actually is. And your range is actually cut down to 400, which isn't bad, but it is a burst fire that fires twice, or it's a 3-shot burst, sorry, and it does overheat on the second subsequent burst. So great for quick ins and outs, but beyond that, yeah, it's really hard to say where this fits in, because it could be so nice potentially, but it's gonna be kind of hard to kind of do things if your team's not there. And well, when you have that claw and you miss, it doesn't lend to repositioning very well. Alright folks, that concludes tonight's banner suit and the short overview of the Woundwort. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys pulled for this awesome TR-6 suit, this AOZ type of shenanigans. What you guys think, what you think needs to be improved to make it a pretty competitive contender, something that can still be fun and still keep balance with the rest of 450, because we know 450 is already pretty advanced with all the new stuff that's out there. Also, if you guys enjoyed what you saw, please do not hesitate to hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. It helps out the algorithm. It makes YouTube know that people are actually watching it and engaging with this. So if you guys have thoughts and comments on the Woundwort, I'd love to hear them. Even if you like it or dislike it, I'd love to see it anyways. Well, that's it for now. I will see you guys all on the next video. Take care for now, guys.